Hello, good afternoon. It is Friday, January 24th in the afternoon, and I had a bit of a late start. I apologize. In between streams and stuff, rather than continuing to work on this project as I sometimes do, I've been diving in and teaching myself React because there's a job opportunity that I'm really trying to get into, and it looks like they're looking for somebody to be more focused on front end stuff. And I really enjoy doing architecture and design and back end work and everything like that. But you know what? Doing the DM's Familiar project has kind of reignited my enjoyment of building cool UIs and stuff like that. And React is one of the big three. And this shop uses React. A lot of other shops also use React. So I'm like, you know what? Fine, I'll learn React. And I found a really great free course on Code Academy. This is not sponsored by them. This is just me sharing stuff that I've found. And so far, it's fairly easy to grok. Um, a lot of the concepts that I'm running into aren't new to me. There's a couple new things. I haven't spent a ton of time in JavaScript historically. So I am learning new stuff, especially exporting modules and so on. It's really neat. But I'm not going to talk about that this this session. Instead, we're going to debug what's going on when we uh, load up the homepage and hit the oninitialized async method. Now, the code that I'm writing in this method isn't going to be staying there. I will be moving it into an event handler or something like that for this upgrade button that we added this morning. But we are getting errors back from this get upgrade URL thing. So I want to step in and find out what's going on there. So let's run the app. And we just wait for this to load up. And we ought to be able to figure this out fairly quickly. So let's go to the home page, which is currently in a horrible state. So let's retry. Could not connect to the server. That's fine. We'll reload the page. And here we are. Do we have a user ID? We do. And it is, in fact, the user ID of the person that we want to load. So let's step into this get upgrade URL. So here we are. We've got the target SKU. Very good. We want to start upgrade subscription. That's in our admin manager. So we'll step in here. And the manager result, whatever, start account upgrade async. This is where we step into the actual API access and make that call. So let's do that. Boop. Here we go. And I should have an API token. I'm not going to hover, well, I am going to hover over it, but let's see here. String.is null or empty API token. I just want to see that it's got stuff in it, and it's good. And API token dot length is greater than 10. Awesome. So there's stuff in that string. It's got a value. So we can pop over that if, and we'll create our upgrade link payload request. There's nothing secret in here. We're good. We've got our API endpoint URL, which should point to, yep, TDMF admin API, start upgrade. Great. And let's make sure that that is the correct endpoint address. Let's just step over it. We'll attach our bearer token. And you know what? Blow it high-do. Let's roll. And this is going to take a second to come back because the API process has probably decided to take a nap. We're back. Our response. We have a created, so that's good. And we don't know what a response payload is yet. And it's throwing an error on this read from JSON async. So let's see about response dot content dot read as string async dot result. Let's print that out. And we've got that. So good. Now I obviously goofed, and I thought that I'd be getting a JSON payload back, and I am not. So there's your problem. You can't read a straight string in as JSON payload. So let's see here. Let's get rid of this. See string response body equals that, and we'll do that. We're probably going to have to do a little bit of string cleansing. Probably. Let's try this first. Trim. Now let's rebuild and rerun. Come on, where's my UI? Dopey, dopey, dope. Rebuild. All projects are up to date for restore. It's doing the things. We've got all the stuff. Happy, happy. Run. Okie dokie. Let's go to home. Reload. All right, we're here. Let's drop another breakpoint here because we've got breakpoints further out the stack. So we're just going to let it rip. App constant skews paid sub. We've got all this stuff. Go. We've got a breakpoint further down here. Go. And it's actually hopping to Azure, which is subsequently hopping over to the e-commerce store. So this one takes it takes a second or two. So what happens after we trim? Our payload still becomes that, and I actually want to print that out. So result dot payload. Yeah, it's still doing that. That's fine. We're going to go into step through mode here because I want to check stuff, payload. Okay, so that's a string. Step out. Upgrade URL is that. All right, so we've got something that looks like a URL but isn't quite. And it looks to me as though, excuse me, we can just bounce out of here. And we should have the home page is properly loaded now. Great. So what do we do with that? Let's pull this off screen. Flip. stop this. And Control I want to load the upgrade URL in a new browser tab. Okay, we'll accept that. And we probably have to bring in the JS interop thing here. Using Microsoft JS interop, IJS runtime. All right, cool. Does that fix the little red wagon? It does. And also, Apple I notice that the string value seems to have some escaped quotation marks at the beginning and end. Is there a built-in way to remove those? All right, we'll try trimming out that. And in fact, I'm even going to come up here. And where am I grabbing it? Here we go. Response.content.read as string async. Let's get this so that we can see it all right here. So we're going to trim extra white space. Actually, let's trim that, and then we'll trim leading and trailing white space. That's what the default version of trim does. And leading and trailing instances of a character from the current string. Beautiful. So let's rebuild, because we've learned the hard way that when we're running in Visual Studio Code and we're running Blazor and we haven't set up our tasks and our launch profiles correctly, it doesn't automatically rebuild when we start a debug session. And that's something that I should get around to fixing, but honestly, the rebuild thing, it's fine. I can live with it. So we're running. And let's reload. So there's that. We've got this. Go. Let's do that. It's making the API call. And we'll just step once, and I want to see what this payload. Oh, there we go. That's much better. So I'm going to pull this out. Goodbye. Boop. Get rid of that. Boop again. And let's see what's happening out in our browser. Nothing. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to run one more time. Open, upgrade URL, blank, boogity boo, bloppity blah. So let us proceed to, pop-up blocked. So it actually blocks the pop-up window. But here's our upgrade session. We're in test mode. It hasn't pre-populated the email, but that's okay. What is the email? I can't remember the email address. I got to go to Gmail. Be right back. Let's go to Google. I know it's like is testing Rob or something like that, or is Rob testing or something. What the flip? Has Google been hijacked? What the hell was that? New window. We'll go to google.com. Here we are. That was freaking weird. I want to go to is testing stuff rob at gmail.com. Is testing stuff rob gmail.com. We're going to use a card, and we're going to use 42424242 42424242 12 of 2030, security code 123, card holder name is Rob Test McTest Face 1234 Test Avenue in Florida, and let's say Orlando. Whoop, not Orlando, but Orlando. Oh, and I don't know. What's the zip code in Orlando? What's a zip code in Orlando, Florida? 32789. I like it. 32789. I don't have a tax ID number. I will. And my webhooks are not installed or running. But we got this to pop. So that's cool. Let's close the tab. Groovy. Excuse me. JS, browsers block JavaScript pop-ups and stuff like that. So that's obviously not the experience we want to have. So what I need to do is calculate the is I guess navigate to a page that when it loads will go get that user's stuff, get the personalized link, and bind it to a button or an actual link, an href, to obtain to take them to that new window. So let's think this through. We need to, and I'm going to bring up a new note, and I'm going to pop this out into a new window. So, 1, create a new Blazor page for upgrading. 2, only show the link to that page when the user is a free user. 2, when that page loads, go get the personalized checkout link from Lemon Squeezy. 3, bind that link to the navigation button that will open the upgrade page at Lemon Squeezy in a new window. Those are the steps. Those do be the steps. So, stop this. Pages, new file. It's going to be a custom file. Upgrade account dot razor. There we go. There's a few things we need up here at the top, and we need the at page with a / upgrade. So we'll add a page directive, upgrade account. Let's go ahead and grab all of this stuff. Copy these things. Paste them here. At attribute. We only want the free users to be able to see this. We got to bring in ASP.NET Core authorization. So once this is up and running again, I want to try and get to it with my full-fledged account that doesn't comply with that authorization policy. Now, before we dive too far in, div class equals task host. Let's spin down here and close the div. Save a roux. Now, upgrade button, medium button, clickable. And let's surround this guy with how do I do it over here? Href equals that. All right. Href equals we're going to do that for now. Target equals underscore blank. Grab the closing anchor. Wrap that. Indent this. And let's inject at code. Pop back over to home. And I'm just going to grab the whole kit and caboodle. Control X. No more interactivity on that page. Or no more magic code on that page. And let's just paste over the top of this. Now, instead of this, I want to private string upgrade link equals just a hashtag. And then we'll take upgrade URL because we're doing all this trim magic over here. Upgrade link equals upgrade URL. Save. And we probably don't need this stuff, but let's find out. More storage slots. And then down below the link, H3, not a slash, slash H3, only $10 a month. Spam plus applicable taxes. Save. Rebuild. Oh, we don't need to rebuild yet. I need to ahref equals at underscore upgrade link. There we go. State has changed. Save. Because we are updating a page level variable, so we've got to tell it that the state has changed. Now we'll rebuild. Rebuild. Oh, I forgot a thing. Because I'm a silly goose. Upgrade to a premium account to unlock. I actually need to do this. Ahref equals slash upgrade account. Slash A. And we'll push that content in just a scooch. Save using the correct keybind. And I've got some complaints here. Equals string.empty. Copy that. Paste that. I said paste. I said good afternoon. Okay, so there's that. Fun, 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 fun. All right. Rebuild. Pop over here. Do a full refresh. Oh, I have to run the app. That helps. You go now. All right, so upgrade now. We're into the going to get things phase. What's the user ID? Is that? Keep it going. It's happening out in the UI. All right. So, what's this button do? Victory! Victory is mine! Ha ha! Fantastic. Close that. And then go home. I'm going to get rid of this verbiage here. So let's go out to the home page and we'll get rid of this stuff. Bye. Save. And we'll clean up this white space. And that is all pretty all right. Cool. So let's rebuild. And I'm going to sign out of my test account and into my full-fledged account and see what happens with those things. Now I need the full URL. It's going to be /upgrade-account. Cool. Let's run. And we'll go to HTTPS, localhost, port 7277, go. We've got my upgrade now thing. I don't like how they're kind of overlapping each other. Whatever. But let's sign out. We'll sign in. But this time we're going to sign in as my full-fledged user account. Engage, make it so. There is no upgrade now button. What happens if I try to navigate to upgrade account? It says no. Access denied, return URL is whatever. Okay. So we've got to do a little bit of updating here. So let's go to upgrade account.razor. Authorize, policy is that. Pol only free users. Okay. Authorized. Let's come into not no. Can I automatically redirect to the home page if somebody an unauthorized, if a user who does not pass this policy tries to navigate to this address. Our user, HTTP user, has claim, user type, and value. That's not correct. Is there an attribute I can apply to the, is there a property I can apply to the authorize attribute that provides a redirect URL? That's not it. Let's just discard all of those changes. Now, authorize. There are two overloads here. Authentication schemes, roles. All right. We're going to have to go out to actual Copilot real quick. I have a Blazor page in my application that I've added an authorize attribute to that requires a specific authorization policy to allow access. If a user does not satisfy that policy, tries to navigate to this page, I want to immediately redirect the browser to the home page of the application without any fanfare. Custom authorization message handler. Create a new class called redirect to home handler. Authorization message handler, navigation manager, blah, blah, blah. Send async. Okay. Scope, get required service, HTTP. That's not what I want. Update your Blazor component to use a custom handler. No. No. Can I add that redirect within the code that creates the policy? Okay, so handle requirement async, blah, blah, blah. Add authorization requirement. Code your page code. Try to navigate the page. Policy evaluation logic. Okay, good. Let's review what it's talking about here. So redirect authorization handler. Handle requirement async. I really don't like this. Not in love with that. So let's pop out to our middleware. Take a look at our authorization policies. So only free users, policy dot, require role, require assertion. Let's see, what is policy? It is an authorization policy builder. So is there an extension method on authorization policy builder that would allow me to specify that redirect instead of using a custom handler? Okay, custom auth middleware, result handler. This I could get behind. Actually introducing a new piece of middleware. Excuse me. If authorized result not forbidden. Okay. Default handler, handle async. Yeah. Register the handler in here. Define the policy as normal. Okay. Yeah, I dig that. So that's what we're going to do. Rather than goof around clogging this up with stuff, with nonsense, here's our authorization policies. We don't need to monkey with that. But we do want to add a new file that will be a class. And it will be redirection middleware. Yeah. And what I'll do is this middleware defines the redirection strategy to be used when a user is not authenticated or appropriately authorized to access a particular page in the application. Excuse me. And it implements what? I'm just going to grab this whole thing from Copilot, paste it here. Get rid of the double colon because we're not in Java. We'll use that. We'll use that. Handle async, request delegate next. And let's take a look at what these input parameters are on the handle async implementation. If authorize result dot forbidden, oh, I'm just going to leave a little breadcrumb for myself here to vary the behavior by policy name. We can add a switch statement or whatever to branch our logic here. Nice. So if the authorized result is forbidden, we're going to send them home. Handle async, move next. All right, so that's that. Now, out in Program CS for the Blazor app, we need to mod that a little bit. Builder.services.add singleton. That's a custom handler. Add authorization, require authenticated user, yeah. High authorization middleware result handler. Custom auth middleware result handler. Okay, so where do we set up security? I've got configure AppSec. Go to the definition. And down below, well, here's our set authorization policies. And I feel like that should be where we drop that. Go to definition. Service collection, set authorization policies, services.add authorization, and services.add singleton authorization middleware result handler redirection middleware. Pop, pop, pop. Groovy. Rebuild. And run. Now, I've got my webhooks coded, so I'm going to try to find time over the coming weekend to get my webhooks deploying from GitHub over to the Azure Function app that I provisioned. I'm going to try and get them set up. Once I have a hosted URL over or up in Azure, I'm going to try and get them set up in Lemon Squeezy. And then Monday, I'm of course going to cheat a little bit and test that flow. But on Monday, we're going to review that whole flow from start to finish and make sure that that it's actually working and working the way I want it to be working. So let's test this redirection stuff that we just did. Here's a new window, and we shall go to HTTPS localhost 7277. I am logged in as my main account. And let me try to go to upgrade account. And I'm right back where I was. That is a thing of beauty. So let's sign out. Now I have no identity established with the application at all. Let's try going to create NPC. And it tries to get me to sign in. Beautiful. So let's go back. Let's try to go to upgrade account. Remember, I still have no identity established with the, oh yes, that's fantastic. That is lovely. So let's go back one more time and let's explicitly sign in. And I'm going to use the is testing stuff. I'm not going to type a password because my password is my fingies. And I push the sign in button. We go here. We upgrade. And we are taken to the store. Win. All right, folks. I am pretty pleased about the progress I have made this week. I've done a lot of fighting with the code here and there and had to back out and rethink some of my plans. But you know what? That's okay, man. That's perfectly all right. That's what happens in software development. So I am going to bid you adieu for the week. Take care of yourselves. Play safe. Have fun out there. Please look out for the people around you and look out for yourself. And happy coding. Take care, y'all.